This is a tale about two pains that somebody experienced, both with trauma. One was a broken back that settled within a few months, and that happened in October of last year. But they also had a pain in June of last year that stayed, and they were asking why would one pain stay and the other one go, and this is the reason why. So with any trauma, the person suffers an event, the stimulus on the body is beyond what the body can control in terms of protection, so there's an injury, and there was two injuries at separate times. In October of last year, somebody broke the back. The circumstances meant that they were examined quite quickly. It was an emergency. There wasn't any reason that they needed surgery from this, and that can happen with some injuries. The body heals itself with everything, but sometimes there's an intervention to stabilise something when there's been a fracture, but that wasn't what needed in this case. And the person was back at work quite soon, so they set parameters for themselves, and everybody knew that they'd had this injury, so that they protect the person protects themselves, but with the knowledge that everybody knows about their pain. And other people often look out for you a bit more than yourself sometimes, when you mind your back and take it easy and kind of get something for you, and your work hours will be like this and don't do too much. And that's how it should be, really. You should have a support structure in place that allows you to recover for the 2 or 3 months it takes for the tissues to heal, and then those tissues physically to be conditioned back to your normal life, and that's about 3 months. In some people, if they've been a long way off where their life was, it can take 3 to 6 months or longer to condition your body, but it's not, doesn't mean there'll be constant pain. So that pain resolved. She was puzzled why that pain had got better, and then an earlier pain hadn't got better, another one linked to trauma. She'd fallen, she'd banged a knee, and she was in a situation where, do you know if you fall over and you hope nobody's seen you? That's what happened. So she'd had an injury. You almost don't want anybody to see you have this injury, but you're really hurting. And somebody had to help her up. A couple of people had to help her up, a young couple, she said. And the first thing she did was ask them how their toddler was. Was the toddler okay? I don't quite know the detail of whether they'd been involved in the fall in some way or they witnessed it, but she was more concerned about the distress of the child than she was of her own pain, and the pain she was in was a lot. So can you see how in that situation she's almost covered up her pain, told everyone she's okay, looked out for somebody who's a stranger to her who might be distressed, and offered care and attention to them rather than herself. Now if you were helping a child understand pain, they said, oh, if you hurt yourself, go to someone and tell them about it, get looked after. If mummy or daddy's not here, then make sure you go to somebody who can help you. Tell someone. Can you imagine if a child has been in a situation where they've been trained not to complain and hold on to it and suppress how they feel, whether it's physical or emotional pain, it doesn't matter, remember. The body encodes it in a way that ensures the safety of that individual. And for some people it's best to hold on to the pain. If they're going to get something else, where someone might say, I'll give you something to cry for, or don't show me your pain, or expressing pain threatens the relationship with the person, who will often say their pain's worse, so they might not have enough emotional development to deal with somebody else's pain, even if that's a child, and that's what happens a lot of the time. Then for that person, they hold on to it. So when you look at that analogy of a child, you'd be saying to them, set some boundaries for yourself, get the care you need, let's look after you. But if the person isn't seeing that for themselves, and in the moment of pain they are encoded or encouraged or trained and conditioned to look after other people, that's what she did. And then you dismiss this pain. The body's giving you a signal for you to attend to yourself. There's only you and your pain, and the person's ignoring it, not acknowledging it. And if it's acknowledged, it's suppressed. and if there's a limp, it's tried to cover it up. If there's asked about it, it's like, no, I'm okay. And when the pain is wired like that, the body's in a emotionally charged state, and the pain is linked to that, then that pain gets connected to that emotionally charged state. And if you think that emotionally charged state is consisting of adrenaline and cortisol, the fight or flight response, months and months and months later, that on switch is still on. And if the person's job involves being busy and active and pushing psychologically and challenge yourself, that comes with those chemicals, which pain do you think's coming back? The broken back pain, where the boundaries are set in place, and calmness and kindness and love. No, the knee pain's still on. So it doesn't matter the type of injury, everything heals. The tissue's healed in the knee and the tissue's healed in the back, but they're encoded very differently. And to reverse the second pain, you have to become conscious of the patterns you adopted at the time the pain started and reverse them. And reverse the behaviours now. And you have to do it for a period of weeks. Firstly, know you're not injured still. And if you need someone to examine you there, it doesn't mean the pain's not there still and real. It's just not driven by ongoing tissue damage. It's more by the emotional state that the body's become attached to as a way of protecting that pain. So whether that emotional charge comes from something you like or you don't like, it'll still feed the pain. It stops you accessing things you want to do because that looks like overload. It swaps that ability to do those things to get some relaxation and play and fun, and it swaps them from just adrenaline with the thought and feeling loop, so people become stuck. So there's a process to follow when you feel any pain, to understand it, to set the boundaries for it, to decide what needs doing, how to attend yourself in that moment. These are innate skills. They are conditioned skills. Sometimes we didn't get the best lessons that would be ideal for everyone, but they can be learned at any age. They can be learned in this person, and that pain in the knee can be reversed consciously by encouraging the unconscious system to let go of that protection, and the pain will disappear just like it did in the broken back.